Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching and listening to another edition of Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. What show am I on right now? I'm Mike Morales here in sultry Southern California. That gentleman out there is.
Bryce Taylor in Austin, Texas.
He is, if he looks familiar to you, he is the Austin tequila connoisseur. And he is. We were talking, and he's a connoisseur with the Kana. I'm the connoisseur without the Kana. But anyway. Um, so Bryce and we flipped over this new tequila. Let me just show it to you. This is a brand new one. I just broke the seal off the cover. Bryce is holding the box. I've got the bottle. This is called Alto Canto, higher song. In my case, I would call it higher octave. And I think Bryce and we did break the cellophane, which is great because otherwise
Yeah.
it's pitiful to watch Mike try
Yeah, it
to
makes this look
fight
dumb.
the cellophane. Um, so we're gonna if you haven't seen our Blanco review, it's a Blanco Suave, technically. And for those of you who are new to this, Suave means that the Blanco was aged so many days in a wood pipon before it was pulled out before could be had to be called a reposado. Now this is a full-on reposado, but we don't. I think we were doing some research offline. We couldn't find how many
Yeah.
months it's
Yeah,
aged.
we were
I
trying to
don't.
do a deep dive, but we didn't see how aged it was. But if it's not in a peepone,
Oh my gosh, look at
if it's in
that.
American like white oak, like ex-bourbon barrels, which is common, I mean, I'd put it at the 2 to 4 month
Two to
range.
4 months. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
I
light.
feel
Look, I
pretty
don't know.
safe.
Can you see that on Bryce's camera? You can see it on mine, I think a little bit better. Um,
Yeah.
in fact, let
Same
me
thing,
show.
good legs and tears that we had on the Blanco.
Yes. Yeah, the Blanco was just it was I didn't even ask Bryce. I go, would you mix
Yeah.
this in a cocktail? No.
Oh,
No, hell no. I mean,
I mean,
Bryce is old school. He's an old dog like me, so
yeah,
it's like beautiful. Oh, even
yeah,
thicker legs and tears now because of the wood,
yeah.
and it is fairly light. So I would say like as a pale straw,
Four?
huh?
If I put money on it, I'd go 4 months. But
Oh my! Now I'm using a Stasso Jarrito that I normally use for mezcal, but I like it
oh
for
yeah, you're
reposados.
using the wide, yeah.
Yeah, and this one, oh, the nose on this is just magnificent. I want a cologne made of this. I
I was about to
want
say,
to
I'm
just put it on my
getting
just put it on your pulse points and go out, you know?
so although this is high altitude, it's not in the highland region per se. I am getting some fruitiness that
Yes.
I would get in a aged highland agave. So when I say it's not the highlands, it is, they claim it's 9,000 feet, which is obviously high altitude. They are south of Lake Chapala, but at high altitude.
So again, this is just
Mm.
beautiful and it's all fruitiness, but again, they mentioned if you watched our Blanco Suave review, I read some of the notes on it, and they said that they do a lot of sustainability where they plant a lot of fruit trees like apples and stuff, and this is very much
Yeah. Mm.
it's a stone fruit or a seed fruit, not
Yep.
so much the Blanco did have notes of citrus, heavier citrus like a grapefruit and like you
Uh,
said, it was
uh,
kind of like
the
an old
lime.
wine that had been out for a while, right? So it's kind
Yeah.
of rindy.
Yeah. Yeah. Not bright citrus, but a rounded citrus or an aged citrus is kind of the way I consider it. But this,
And you know what else I'm getting, Bryce? I'm getting honeysuckle.
yeah. Yep.
I'm getting, like
That,
blossoms.
yeah. That sweetness,
Oh, that's
that
beautiful.
floral burst.
Again, minimal alcohol. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
a little bit more than the Blanco Suave, but not nothing, nothing that's going to burn your nose hairs or
And then
anything.
just on the very backside, a little hay dusty.
Oh, I like that. So what? Maybe a Scotch barrel? Maybe they threw
It
this in a
could be a
Scotch barrel?
barrel. I mean, it could just be a tannin. It could be a lot of things. But like I said, it's at the end. The biggest things are the buttery, the well-cooked agave, that floral, like you said, stone fruit.
Yeah.
Stone fruit's just fancy for fruits with pits.
Yeah, with
Peaches,
pits.
cherries. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
Cherries,
yeah.
apples. I guess you could call apple seeds pits. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, but you know.
Yeah. I just get it. Yeah.
Wow, and it keeps opening up. It just
Yeah.
keeps
It
evolving in
does.
your
Yeah.
glass.
We just opened these bottles. Um, Obviously anything you drink at home, I would say just let it sit in the glass 20 minutes, or so.
Yep.
Uh, it's
Give
it's
it a
not a high
give it a
proof. I
give
mean,
it
it's
a
still
spin.
40 ABV, but things still open up. It's been choked down in a bottle for 6 months before
Yeah,
you
it's
got
it, it's traveled, on
it.
by
Yeah,
truck. Uh, um, there's no telling what it's been through,
yeah,
So, and if it's well made, it's going to be complex. You're going to open
yeah,
it up, and you expect this. It's like a good bottle of wine. It's
yeah.
just let it bloom. That's exactly what you're doing. You're letting it bloom.
But also with like a complex tequila, like we haven't sipped it yet. But
No.
once we do, and we come back to the nose, based off the taste, we might get something else out of the nose,
Well,
which
it keeps
yeah,
evolving too because now the oxygen's hit it. It's missing less liquid, and I only poured once. I didn't even go back for a second pour. So all my
yeah,
my second and third passes were all on one pour. And I can only imagine once you go down that bottle how it's going to evolve even more as you go through the product.
yeah,
Are we getting anything else? We're getting much more barrel, which is great. I love that.
yeah.
I'm bummed. I'm going to have to really do a deep
Like
dive
dark
on this and find
cherry,
out.
like almost an anise.
Well, it's
Yeah,
again, a stone fruit, but it
yeah,
could be again peaches, pears,
yeah,
apples. Uh, I don't know if they plant pears, but like a green apple or a baked. Again, this is baked in
yeah.
a stone oven, so the green apple turns into a baked apple at that point.
Well,
It's lovely. That nose, oh my gosh! You
yeah,
want you want to dive in? Here
yeah,
we go,
for
man.
sure.
Let's do it.
Mm,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Barrel notes, wood notes are it's actually bolder than I thought it would be
I
and
agree.
that's just my first pass, so I
Yeah,
spit it all out, but it's lingering on my palate, the wood notes. I think you're right. I think Bryce, I think you called it. I think it's bourbon barrels.
yeah. And based off of our already trying the Blanco and then now trying this is like there's a lot more like wood influence, barrel influence.
Mm-hmm. Oh
And
man,
and
that
even the Blanco was rested in a pipon. So it'd be interesting to see, did they use that same Blanco and then after resting in the pipon, put it into the barrels? Or
true.
was it the straight
Straight
tequila
Blanco that went right,
non-rested?
yeah, from the
Yeah,
still right into it. Yeah, yeah.
that we don't know,
We
but
don't know that either,
it
but
does have a barrel influence, but not over the top.
no,
We're
it's
just
really
comparing it to the
nice.
Blanco. Yeah,
But wow, it's lingering. It's
yeah,
lingering. You don't even have to do retro nasal.
yeah.
It's like
You're right.
right on your palate. It won't
Yeah,
go away. It's
which
like,
also is
wow.
kind of the tannins. So maybe it's newer barrels.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's probably a newer bourbon barrel. Well,
Yeah,
they can only be used once. So
yeah,
it's not a
bourbon. Yeah,
beat up bourbon barrel like the kind G4 uses where it's all beat up. They look for the
yeah,
worst barrels in the world. But um, the malolactic is enhanced a little bit more. I taste it a little bit more from the barrel influence than I did in the Blanco Suave,
yeah,
which I don't know, man. I love that malolactic.
yeah. And so yeah,
That's
we
why I
didn't
love
mention it in this
Atanasio.
video. Yeah, we mentioned it in the Blanco video, but yeah, they do a malolactic fermentation. So they let that fermentation go a little extra.
Yep, a
You
little
know,
extra for those of you who
yeah,
are wine nuts. You know what malolactic is
yeah,
like. Um, it's rare in more rare in some tequila profiles, but guys like me and Bryce, we look for it.
yeah,
It gets
yeah.
us. It gives Bryce a tequila stiffy. So
That's not,
I
it's
mean,
not, it's not true.
that's
Yeah,
not not a bad
yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
For those of you
Yeah. But now that you mention it,
who
it's
have
like
ever
I
watched
yeah.
Justified,
Yeah.
you want a stiffy. Now it says our aged tequilas mature only in new American oak barrels in
Okay.
a winery made of adobe, raw earth brick, okay, and a stone floor under a wood and tile roof. Again, the altitude of our home at 9,000 feet above sea level provides the ideal conditions for wood to breathe, encouraging a slow, steady extraction of aromas and flavors from the oak barrels. It says all of these processes take place in the crests of the Sierra del Tigre, surrounded by pines, an ecosystem in harmony with its product. Now, I didn't get any like juniper or any pine influence in the Blanco.
Yeah.
So let me see. The little booklet that comes with it is giving us a little bit more information than we got in some of the written copy that they sent. Uh, what we are left, Tequila Reposado, with is a truly incomparable product, a small batch spirit, unique in both its method and creation and its end result. Our ancestral processes give our Reposado tequila a smooth texture and a shiny yellow hue. Look for notes and aromas of dried and tropical fruit. We got that.
Yep.
Vanilla, I wouldn't call it vanilla. I call it more honeysuckle. I think it leans
Yeah.
toward that side.
Yeah. I agree.
Terrace flavors, terrace flavors. That's interesting.
I don't know what
And
that
the
means.
true character of cooked agave, but still they're not telling us how
Yeah.
long.
We'll have to reach out.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have
Yeah.
to
I'll reach
apparently
out
they
to
have a
them.
high proof coming. Oh my
Yeah.
oh my God.
I know.
I
With
sound
what
like
I've already tasted, yeah, we
I'm
have we have to do
we're
that.
getting it. I'm
Yes, we
raising
have
our
to do
hand
that.
now and
Yeah.
uh well, Bryce, I mean we pretty much covered everything. Uh I think you wanted to mention distillation that the couple.
Yeah, so we didn't mention it in the Blanco just because we were excited all over the place for everything else. But yeah, twice distilled, copper pot stills, but everything else about their process, you could probably, connect the dots.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's oh my gosh, and it's evolving even more. Oh yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
totally agree.
it's
Brand
a
of Promise
little,
nominee.
yeah. So
You can, oh, there you go. I was gonna say, when maybe we
I
can
know.
make this a Zoom background.
Yeah. Yeah, we can get there. But yeah, yeah, I've been excited for this one just based off of their production methods. It doesn't mean it necessarily works out for the best of them, but to me, it would have been hard for them to not do it right. And this is really
Mm,
good.
mm,
And
mm,
I've tried a few tequilas as you have, and we're excited. So that's saying
mm.
something. And we'll let you know when it hits a market. So definitely follow. We'll let you
Oh
know.
my goodness. I'm sorry, I couldn't spit that one out.
No,
It's
don't. Yeah.
so good in your mouth. It's silky. It went from buttery to more
Mm.
velvety, more silky. I imagine, you know what? It went from buttery, silky, and I bet when we get the añejo, it's going to be velvety.
Yeah.
I think it'll turn into and there's like one or two that I've had. In fact, one of them was Veneno. Veneno out of Houston was really velvety. Their extra that they sent to us, it's like wrapped in a hoodie or something. It's wrapped in this
No.
like nice velvet bag.
Yeah, this one
Like
still has a hint of like the pepper finish, but I agree. I think the añejo will still round out sweet. This one
right.
still has a pepper, not like a pepper bomb, but just
No, it's more like a
still that
cinnamon.
tequila peppery, you
But I
know.
think it's a more like from pepper that we got on the Blanco because the lip and gum numbness is spectacular
Mm,
on that Blanco Suave. But on this in this case, I'm getting more. It turned into a little bit more of a cinnamony, hotness. The heat.
warm. Yeah.
It's warm. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's warm. Um. Oh my God, this is spectacular. Wow.
I agree.
Oh my goodness. I wish I knew what kind of. They're just calling it oak barrel, so I'm not sure if their
Yeah.
version. They it tastes like bourbon. I'm gonna go there
Yeah.
with you.
I'm sure
I
it's
think it would be a
fresh
bourbon.
bourbon. I'm not saying wet barrels, but like I'm sure it's fresh bourbon barrels because bourbon is American whiskey, American oak. They can only use it one time, has to be charred.
Right.
So a lot of, tequila companies get bourbon barrels. Now, whether you use it 4, 5, 6 times, or I think this is probably a fresher bourbon barrel, but
Yeah, the and
damn,
I
it's
and
good.
I
They're putting good Blanco in it. So
and again, I think you're right by the looks of it, by
yeah,
the color of it. They're not
yeah,
letting it
it's
sit there too
pale. It's
long. It's like a pale straw color. That's
straw.
what
Yeah,
I call it.
hay. Yeah, just a hay.
Well,
Yeah.
that's when you mentioned hay, and I thought, well, maybe they're using a Scotch barrel because that's where you're
Oh,
getting a lot more of the hay.
yeah,
But you're right, a once used bourbon barrel that doesn't have anything else in it and
yeah,
recharge would leave a little bit of that that grainy kind of, like you said, hay, grassy kind of
yeah.
thing.
And if it's only like a 4 month or less repo, you're not getting it at that 6, 8, 12 month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're not getting
You're not getting those whiskey qualities out of it.
too much of that bourbon influence,
Yeah.
that barrel influence. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Is there
It's a
anything else you want to
treat.
say about this? Now I mentioned off camera to Bryce, I go, would you make a cocktail with that Blanco Suave? He goes, hell no, you know.
Yeah.
So with this, you could though, couldn't you? I would even pair it. I'll tell you what, because of the flavor profile, the nose belies the flavor, the taste. I think it's bold enough to stand up to a cigar, but you'd have to
Mhm.
really not go too bold with that cigar, in my opinion. I think you
Yeah.
could wait. You could wait for that with an añejo when it comes out.
Yeah. I
But
agree. You could even do a like a simple old fashioned, which I mean, don't cover it in bitters or sugar or orange, but like if you're just doing like a cube, a little bit of, a couple dashes, yeah, I could do an old fashioned with this.
it's
Yeah.
spectacular, and the mouthfeel
Yeah.
and
And the flavors linger, so they're not adding a glycerin or like this is just
no,
a
in fact,
damn
and
good tequila. Yeah.
that's what I was saying. They're using once used barrels. They have the malolactic, influence,
Yeah.
and they have a great process. It's still
Yeah.
toe and a crush from what I would imagine that you know because the Blanco Suave, that's after it's done through distillation, as we were talking. What are they using, that Blanco Suave that's been in the barrel already, or are they taking it straight from the still and putting it in the bourbon barrel and then pulling it out? And I
Yeah.
think that's how they're doing it, I would imagine. Um, but all of those, it's supposed to leave and coat your palate. This is pleasant because this is real.
Mhm.
You don't have to. I mean, when we talk about enhancements, um, they were designed to make to imitate this kind of quality. All right.
Correct.
So this is real stuff, folks.
But they had flaws to where like if it was glycerin, like your finish was killed. Or,
Right.
if it was a barrel influence, like that died off to where it's like this is a cohesive taste. Like, so even though we're talking now, like we're still tasting it.
Yeah,
So it's like that's how we know it was made right, you know.
yeah, and like I
I'm still
mentioned
getting,
earlier.
yeah, I'm still getting wood tannins. I'm getting agave. The pepper's just kind of there, but like I still know that I had a sip of tequila like a minute ago.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, the finish. We didn't even talk about the finish. That's a nice warm fuzzy on that finish.
Yeah.
That's like a medium, almost close to long, medium to long, but I
Yeah.
would call it medium.
Yeah. I'd go
I'd
medium.
imagine
Yeah.
that I'm
The high proof.
excited. I can't
Yeah.
wait for the añejo, because the añejo in the high proof, that's gonna be killer. Oh my
Yeah.
God, folks, do we have a price point for any of this? I don't
I,
even
I
have an
looked it up. I
MSRP.
did not, I didn't find one because it's just not out yet. So, I mean, these are teaser videos. I'm sorry, but it is what
Yeah,
it is. So now
yeah,
you
we're
have to look for it.
normally
Yeah.
that's why it's called sipping off the cuff, because we go
Yeah.
off what initially, sometimes we never get any of this. Sometimes
Uh,
it's
yeah.
just the
They
bottle.
sent
There's
great
nothing.
info. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing on the website. I will say that there's an Amy Bianca and Carolyn Brody, who made this happen, and I think they are the 5WPR. I believe they are the PR company that made this happen. And I so appreciate you ladies. You guys have no problem. You guys are not going to have any problem. You're going to have a problem keeping it on the shelf. That's what's
Yeah,
going to
it's
happen.
just
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's a double branded promise
yeah.
nominee. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to put it out there, but it's like I'd go packaging on this one too.
Well, yeah, but we're not doing packaging anymore. We
Oh,
got
my bad.
they told, but yeah, the packaging is actually very good. And if you read
Yeah.
the sustainability information here, they use recyclable packaging as well. They give
Hmm.
back to their community. They reforest and replant cherry trees and apple trees in the area. Uh, I can't say enough about. Yeah, now they got a Blanco Reposado in this information here in this paper, and then they have a high proof. The high proof will come in at 48 ABV.
Yeah.
Damn, I want that high proof, and I want that Añejo too when it's ready. Don't
Yeah.
rush it on our account.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
But when
we
it's
can wait
there,
for it. Pale color representing the aromas of the wood, dried fruits. Yep. Nuts, caramel. Not it's honeysuckle. It's not caramel or vanilla. Those are too easy. Now, uh, you they call it nuts. I think you're right more about the. I think it's more of the tannins. It's more tannic
yeah.
than like toasted almonds. I'm not getting any of that. It's not because that's why I say I think this is bourbon barrels, not whiskey barrels, because
Yeah.
whiskeys would give us a little bit more the toasted oats or toasted almonds. You get a much more sweeter nose on it. This is a sweet nose, but it's deep. I could go on and on, but we're not gonna, you know.
Yeah.
If you folks have had it, or if you've not and you're excited, go get it. Tell us what after you buy it, come back to the video. Tell us what you're paying for it, where you're getting it, what you're doing with it. Uh, uh, Bryce went very controversial on that Blanco Suave. He almost said something sacrilegious, and I had to pull him back and say, no, bro, that's not
Yeah.
it's close, but it ain't that cigar. Okay. So, but if you're again, if you're the type that's looking for a Tahona crushed tequila from a different flavor profile, different microclimate, this is up your alley. And you're into
High
that.
quality.
Yeah, if you're looking at tequilas with an unusual flavor imprint, lunar rested, uh, tequilas like that are kind of rested in barrels like that before they pull their blanco out. Just really where the distiller and the founder are playing with the recipe so much that they just create something completely amazing. That this is the tequila for you. If you're a G4 guy or a Fortaleza guy, even Suerte for that matter. We had Suerte at our tasting at El Cholo a couple of weeks ago, and Suerte barrels, were just amazing. So if you're into that kind of stuff, I would look for this brand. It's called Alto Canto, which higher song. Let's give the gnome number just in case we people try to look that up. It's what is it? 1636.
1636. 1636.
And they do have a QR code here, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
imagine this will
And
take you to the
they show to
website.
be a single brand gnome. So
How bad can it be? And look, did you notice that on the bottom?
I didn't.
Yeah, we didn't flip it over. I mean, their symbolism is on point. They just they just Congratulations. What a winner. I can't wait for the high proof. I can't wait for the añejo. Uh, I think we're gonna both die and go to heaven when that XA comes out.
No. No, or the high proof. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But in the meantime, we're enjoying this. That's our take on Alto Canto, folks. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That gentleman joining me
Bryce
today on this
Taylor.
journey.
Yeah. Bryce Taylor in Austin, Texas.
You've been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. All of our channels and networks. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, give us a like, share it with your tequila nut buddies, and if you're a newbie, leave us a comment, leave a symbol, you know, give us a glass, leave us a glass emoji. I'm good with that, you know. But what, and you can follow Bryce also on his Instagram. It's Austin Tequila Connoisseurs. So he may look familiar to you. And folks, whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.